Don't worry, you guys, I didn't put Belle smack dab in the middle of the French Revolution. Let's let this mademoiselle have a chance at the Great Wide somewhere. Where's this chick from?
After all, miss, this is France.
Yeah, about that. So here's the problem. Beauty and the Beast takes place in France at the beginning of the 19th century, but at that point in history, the royal family of France is dead and there are no princes to enchant. Here's how I'll make it work. France has a few principalities we can put the Beast in instead, and I've selected Andorra, a small principality between France and Spain containing the Pyrenees Mountains. Belle's kingdom. Watch how this works. Andorra is ruled by co-princes who split up governing responsibilities, so it makes sense that the Beast, or Prince Adam, could remain in isolation for 10 years without the principality falling into chaos. The kings of France ruled for him, and then Napoleon stepped in post-revolution. However, since the French Revolution is a raging on, Andorrans feel vulnerable. A centuries-old agreement called the Acte Pariage kept Andorra independent through the co-prince system. But when the revolutionaries revoked the agreement, Andorra is in jeopardy. Any old country could come in and take over, and France kind of does. In 1812, Napoleon annexes Andorra during the Peninsular War to expand the French Empire. But by 1814, Andorra is back to being independent and the co-prince system is back in full swing. Which is great because there's a newly human co-prince and his wifey who are ready to step in and rule the principality. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but they're gonna have a great time. Belle as co-princess. Yeah, I've been struggling. I haven't been able to find any problems going on in that region at all. Really. People who know me well know that I am not trying to make life easier for Belle. I have exactly 3 beefs with Belle. What was her plan if the Beast wasn't human? Why does she assume the townspeople don't dream? Why can't she follow directions? Belle and I are in a feud. But during the early 1800s, Andorra has this amazing renaissance where the tourism industry starts booming and all these people come to visit and think it's wonderful, and she gets off easy this time. That said, let's use the scale because I'm not entirely certain her personality wouldn't ruin everything. Diplomacy. Early on in Belle's reign, Spain experiences the First Carlist War next door. The war is fought between the Cristinos, supporters of the Queen Regent, and the Carlists, a conservative faction who support the deceased king's brother's right to the throne. Andorra works best as a nation when it practices a policy of neutrality between the two world powers it's stuck between, but the problem is that the Carlists are using Andorran valleys as a sanctuary. Not very neutral. It's Belle's job to keep Andorra out of trouble. She's well educated and has access to a royal library full of books about policy in foreign nations, so you'd think that would figure in. But Belle has canonical experience aiding fugitives of the law. In Belle's magical world, the Beast exiles a bunch of stationery and Belle invites them back to the castle because she believes the Beast was wrong to do so. I mean, maybe, I really don't care. But the point is it wasn't her castle and she doesn't get to make those decisions without asking. I can't tell. I'll give her 10 out of 20. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she's going to support the Queen Regent, but she also has a history of letting fugitives in because she has a big heart. Optics. Sure, he was a beast who might have wanted to spare his citizens the shame of being ruled by a buffalo, but the reason he was cursed in the first place was his selfishness! Compound a selfish, absent ruler with a condescending peasant girl, and Belle and Adam do not make a good impression. I mean, think about it. Belle's introduction as a character is her singing a song belittling the lives of the people around her, like their commitment to feeding their families somehow means that they can't be deep. I'll remind you that the bookseller gives Belle a book for free in that number, implying that he does a pretty good business. The townspeople buy the books. They probably have lots of dreams. They're just not going to starve over them. Adam and Belle would have good intentions ruling over Andorra, but they have a bad public image. 0 out of 10. Economics. Okay. So good news. There's a huge boom in the Andorran hospitality industry in the 19th century, and you can see why. Travelers begin to see the beauty of Andorra, its mountains and valleys and rivers, and they go wild. By the 1850s, composers are writing operas about the beauty of Andorra, and people are coming in droves. The Andorrans build hotels and spas and resorts. The economy is booming. Like Eilonwy, Belle brings no money to her marriage or to her principality. But like Eilonwy, her nation doesn't need it, so I'll give her the same score I gave Eilonwy. 10 out of 20. Influence. Belle is an undeniably good influence on Adam. The selfish behavior he was unable to reform 9 years before meeting her gets rectified pretty quickly after they meet. He blows up at her when he disagrees, but he almost always reaches her conclusion. That beast's a softie. The co-prince is definitely going to give Belle a say in politics, especially because he can't really read by himself, and he's going to need her help to decipher all that paperwork that accumulated in that time off the throne.
12.
2.
2. I knew that.
It's not his throne alone, though. Adam has to share his throne with Napoleon, then the French kings that I discussed in Cinderella's episode, and then with Napoleon's nephew. Pause. Can we just discuss how Cinderella's father-in-law is going to be co-ruling with the Beast? Oh my god, Disney Universe! But I think as a team, with Belle acting as teacher, translator, and counselor, they would rule really well. Give the peasants some time to get over the bad public image and a little bit of money from the booming hospitality industry, and they'll like Belle and Adam just fine. They'll be able to make some good decisions and rule well, as long as they keep on Napoleon's good side. 10 out of 10. Conflict management. Europe's got 99 problems, but Andorra ain't one. It's on the upward climb. What conflict besides the Carlist Wars would Belle have to manage anyway? I can think of only one that would come relatively late in her reign, when she's in her 70s, if she lives that long. There was a reform movement in the 1860s that was trying to take out the Andorran aristocracy and replace them with a council of elected members and a constitution. Historically, the co-princes ratified the constitution and everything was smooth sailing, but would Belle and Adam do the same thing? After 50 years of policy making and reading up a storm, I feel like Belle would be down with the cool constitution kids. Adam might grumble, but he'll eventually do what Belle advises. Belle and Adam probably expire happily of old age well before the Revolution of 1881. 40 out of 40. Belle ties with Snow White in the running for the most effective ruler with a score of 70 out of 100. You win this time, Belle. I'm definitely noticing a pattern here where some princesses are getting conflicts that are just way too much to handle, while other princesses are getting things that are way too easy. What do you guys think? Am I grading unfairly? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe. And I will see you next time!